what's going on. I'm going to be running, I think we're going to run a full field. I found some really old files that hopefully will work first of all, and then allow it to be a little more interesting than the default Papyrus stuff. But why don't we nix this music and get started what we're all here for.
NASCAR racing.
Hold on.
I'm Ned Jarrett. From Papyrus, this is NASCAR racing.
All right. That's the old intro to Papyrus NASCAR 1. So let me know if the voice is still too low, because I can crank that up, I think. But definitely a lot of nostalgia hearing that, seeing it. You'll definitely notice that the circuits are all over the place, realistic-wise, and there's a couple reasons for that, but they're definitely... I was talking when we did the rank run at Spa-Francorchamps that circuit felt like you were driving a drunk version of Spa-Francorchamps, but just wait till you see what's going on here. Most of these circuits are like not even close to what they look like in real life. Try to turn up the voice a little bit there. Hopefully that's better. I'll have to crank down the sim, I bet, because this game is super loud when the engine gets going. But yeah, thanks folks for turning out. I think it's the first time I've ever done an evening stream, so I'm interested to see how many people come in. But appreciate everybody coming along. So NASCAR Racing 1, this is the first NASCAR game. It is actually like the PlayStation 1 version. That was made off of this. So it's somewhat similar. But we'll take a quick look. So the idea tonight, or starting tonight, hopefully, is that we'll do a championship, and we'll see how far we get. I don't know how many races I'll do. I'm absolutely certain we're going to DNF out of some races. We're going to maybe win a couple races, and we'll probably finish in the middle of the pack. If there's one thing about this sim, is it's extremely inconsistent with the difficulty level across different tracks. So some are impossible to win on, and others are very easy. Martinsville being one of those. I guess I'll regret saying that, but we're gonna be driving the wonderful '94 NASCAR Papyrus NASCAR, and I'm gonna solicit ideas for names for our driver for the season. So put in your best NASCAR driver name that you can think of, and I'll set that up for this. We can actually choose everything about the driver, so I'm waiting for a couple name ideas. We could either go with Hoosier or Goodyear tires. I guess this would have been during the war, if you want to call it that, of tires for NASCAR back in the 90s. Let me roll this back in a little bit, just to give a little bit of background. This would have been during the tire war, which famously was not a great thing for NASCAR. It led to a lot of accidents, and I think there's a good video out there on YouTube, which Axel Richardson Jr. is a good one. Thanks, Darren. That might be, I know that's one of the first ones, so that might be what it has to be. Yeah, there's a good video I think Slap Shoes does of just reviewing like why there was this tire war and what happened during it. And this sim, I guess, was made in 1994, so that's the era of NASCAR that it covers. So we'll definitely go Hoosier. I think the tires actually do something different, the Goodyear versus Hoosier, but I'm not exactly sure. For chassis, we can pick a Chevy, Ford, or Pontiac. Not sure if that's going to do anything different either. But I pretty much always drive a Chevy, so I'll have to see if anybody complains with that too much. Hometown team. All right, I think I have to do for the name. Axel Richardson Jr. I think it's too good, and we'll call our I feel like our nickname needs to be like something completely different from the actual name of the driver. It's like, you know, Darrell Wallace is Bubba, and just random nicknames. Instead of player, Roscoe Branson. Is that a real name? Maybe I don't know. Bubbles. That's good. We'll use Bubbles as the nickname. Axel Richardson Jr., known as Bubbles. I'll keep a Pit Road Motorsports. We're driving a Chevy with Hoosier tires. So I've got a custom car set. So this is some real vintage sim racing stuff, because this is a car set that actually came out in 1995 maybe. For the sim, so this is something that was made way back when. I could actually look at I should look at the README file that came with it to search long and hard through some old websites to find some of this. But this actually gives us a fairly complete 1994 season, so it's not all the fictional drivers and everything. So Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, of course, Sterling Marlin. I can't remember who wasn't in the original game, but this kind of rounds out the field. Some of them are not the best paint scheme. I'm happy that Steve Grissom is in the sim. He's been looking a little better in certain times. Jeff Burton in there, Ted Musgrave. So all of the classics. I know, like, this is when I first started watching NASCAR. So I think these drivers are the ones, to me, when I think of NASCAR, you think these ones. But I know that tends to be just when somebody enters the sport for the first time, they just see the drivers that they knew then, and those are the classics for them. Ernie Irvan in the 28. So this would have been a couple years after Davey Allison. Michael Waltrip, Ward Burton. So the whole field's here. Harry Gant in the 33. Bill Elliott in the 11. That's interesting. I guess this would have been after he drove for the 9 car. Joe Nemechek, Jeff Purvis. I'm just familiarizing myself with everybody that we're going to be racing for this season. Who do we got there? Hut Strickland in the Smokin' Joes. That's a really cool looking car, actually. Even represented here, but it's a good one. And Darrell Waltrip towards the back. Dave Marcus, Mike Wallace. How many do we got? Dale Jarrett, Jimmy Spencer, Bobby Hamilton, Loy Allen Jr., Ricky Rudd, Lake Speed. My God, forget how many cars are actually in NASCAR. So it would have been Wally Dallenbach in the 43. It's not Richard Petty. It would have been a couple years after he retired. Kyle Petty, though, in the 42 Mellow Yellow. That's got to be one of the coolest cars of all time as well. Greg Sachs, Jimmy Hensley, Derek Cope. We're digging deep now. And the pace car with the nickname Pacer. All right, so that's the field we're going to be racing. We're going to be driving our 94 NASCAR. So we got the championship season, and I've tried to deck this out as well as I can. Let me just show you in single race mode. So this sim originally came with, I think, 9 circuits maybe. I think Atlanta was one of them, Bristol. I don't even think Charlotte was a default track. So they came out with a small set of tracks to start. Then they released an expansion, which had, I think, most of the rest of the season. So like Dover, I think if we come down here, Sears Point was in the expansion pack. So that gave you more tracks. And then 1994. It was the first year that NASCAR raced at Indianapolis. Indianapolis was not something that was able to get in sims for quite a while, and this is a converted version, I believe, of the first IndyCar racing version of that circuit, which came out similar time. So it's, in my opinion, fits quite well the aesthetic of the sim, and we'll discover what that aesthetic is about as we get a little deeper into this. But Indianapolis, one of them. The main track missing, and was missing from NASCAR sims until, would have been NASCAR 4 maybe, is Daytona. And this is quite the version of Daytona. It's actually the USA Speedway. There were so many weird legal issues and things back in the 90s for NASCAR games, and specifically Daytona. I think the story, I'll keep it brief, because I do want to get driving, but I think the story was that Sega owned the rights to Daytona as a likeness and everything. So it wasn't something that any sim could use for forever. NASCAR 3 was the first NASCAR game with Daytona, from Papyrus anyway. However, it was like this temporary one-off version that was handed out on a CD at some press event, and it made its way onto the internet, and you know, the rest is history there. But before NASCAR 3, there was no version of Daytona. So what we have here for a Daytona, I contemplated whether or not we should do this at all, because it's going to be the first race, and it might turn a lot of people off. But it's basically Talladega reskinned to look something like Daytona. Finish line's in the wrong spot, although visually it doesn't look it. And it's got the crazy hairpin kink in the front straightaway that everybody loves about Talladega. So it's going to be an interesting opening race. No idea if it'll work well, but it should be fun. So it got the full season. So if I jump out, look at championship season, click new. Got the full calendar. Another quirky thing about this is I can't see some of the middle races, and I'm hoping they're there. But this cuts out some of the screen, so I've got Daytona to Daytona here. So from the 500 to the 400. And then there's supposed to be, I think, 3 races in between Daytona and Indianapolis. They get cut off the screen, so hopefully they're going to happen, but we'll see as we get to them. So it's I think a 31 race schedule, so it'll be quite long. I want to jump quickly through the options, make sure I've got everything set. So I do got controls. I did a few testing laps to make sure everything's working. We're going to do short races for this. I don't want to do anything too crazy. 10% race length, car damage. There's only an on and an off setting. They did introduce the version later that would give you like arcade damage. But yeah, so we'll keep that on, I guess. Definitely will mean that we'll DNF out of a few events. Yellow flags, I think I'm gonna keep. I don't know if we should keep them on or off. I think I'll keep them on. Give me a break here and there. And then weather, random, pace lap. We will do opponents. We're gonna have 38 opponents. For strength, I'm actually going to go all the way to 100%, which I might regret on a lot of circuits. However, I do think it'll be a good setting for this. It says I'm dropping a few frames, so let me know if things get weird. Hopefully it keeps up with me. So 100% will draw them all. 38 is the max number of competitors that this supports. So there would have been up to 43 cars on a few of the circuits in real life, but for the sim we'll do the 38, and we can hear 7 of them. Driving aids were manual, shifting. That's our only driving aid, shifting and braking. things have definitely changed a little bit. So we'll keep it manual on both of those. Graphics, we've got everything turned on. And sound should be good, although it might be a little loud at first, and I'll figure that out. All right, so I think I'm ready to get started with our championship season. So we'll overwrite the save season, yeah. All right, pause our music here. So we're starting out at Daytona, February 20th. And I'm going to do a little bit of practice at each of the circuits because I do want to make sure that I can actually do it. I think I'm going to go with the fast setup for most of them unless it feels terrible. And let's do practice. Oh my god, sorry for everybody's ears. I hope that didn't kill everyone. Let me know if that's still too loud. See if we can control it. Yeah, I forgot how loud the engine is. one pitch for sure. All right, we'll roll out of pit lane. I actually don't even know what the pit road speed limit is. This is pre-spotters. This is pre-spotters in NASCAR sims, so we're gonna have to just figure out if anybody's next to us. This actually does support wheel and pedals and everything. It's a little bit weird of a setup. I'm running pretty much the same thing that I do for Grand Prix Legends, although paddle shifters, just because it doesn't have a concept of anything but buttons for the shifting. But I'm using Joy to Key to do some of the buttons. I've got the mapping set up through DOSBox to get the wheel and pedals working. It feels old. The steering is a little inaccurate. There's no force feedback, so it's an old sim for sure. Yeah, and you're gonna get what I'm saying in just a second about how messed up these tracks are. So here we come to the tri-oval at Daytona, where we probably will have to lift off on a lot of laps to get through there. I don't know what they were thinking. It's like they've never saw the track before. This was the first one though. This was like the first serious oval sim. So, you know, give it a little bit of a break. I think it brings some charm to it too. And I'm actually surprised some of the circuits are pretty good. They didn't change a whole lot, even in the first 3 NASCAR games. But yeah, this is one that, I guess this isn't even really Daytona, but this is one that they definitely improved over the years. What's going on, Ian? So Loy Allen just blew by me there, which is concerning somewhat. But maybe we can get the draft and catch up. I remember some of these circuits being really difficult and some of them being very, very easy. This is actually the laser scanned 1994 Daytona Speedway, long before iRacing existed. Whoa, really bogging down there in the second corner. I think it's the 40-degree banking on the straightaway, or the corners that cause that. I'll have to see if I can catch a draft at all, because I'm worried about my top speed right now. I might have to re-gear the car a little bit. I'm at 7,000 RPM. One quirk too is if we do want to go into the garage, it resets the practice, so the times stay, but all of the AI kind of go back to the pits. Oh, we got somebody passing on the outside through the tri-oval. Yeah, we're gonna have to do something to speed this up. Did Loy Allen actually qualify on the pole? I did watch NASCAR in this era, but I was a pretty young guy. I guess that makes sense, though. Get the Hooter sponsorship and everything after Alan Kulwicki. So I don't know. I think that might be Joe Nemechek coming on the outside. You can't quite see the cars in the rearview mirror. They are just polygon versions of themselves. Ooh, Martin right behind him. All right, we're gonna have to do something to the car. We are very slow. Try practicing for pit lane. We're not gonna have to pit in these races at all. All right, so we'll take a look at the garage. So 310 was the final ratio here. Spoiler, I mean, can we go down on it? Yep, we can. That might be a bad move. Front air dam. It's going to take a little bit of learning to see what we need to do to the setup. But yeah, let's flatten out that spoiler. We've got interesting tire pressures all around. Options. That's just to load and save. So it doesn't look like there's actually anywhere to do like tape or anything like that. So we'll have to hope we can speed it up a little bit somehow. I mean, the spoiler going down in theory should speed it up, right? The only other thing I wanted to check was that gear, right? So we'll do want to go shorter, maybe 2 clicks. We'll see what that does. Back on the pit lane. Sorry, everybody's ears again. I'll count down next time. I think it's 55 mile an hour pit. I don't know if it changes per track. You know, I will say, I don't know if the garage is better than Modern Sims, but it's a lot easier to use. I feel like Modern Sims, I spend half of the time just trying to click when, figure out where to click to change a setting or something. I've just been starting to play with, Automobilista 2, the one I made a video about this week, and the garage, I don't know why it brings you to like a easy setup first, and you got to click in to get to the more advanced setup, and at that point it saves the setup like 100 times as you go through it. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But all right, we'll see if we're any quicker now, or this one might be kind of a lost cause, which I'm hopeful it won't be. Whoa, the car did not want to turn on entry there. 55 at all tracks for the pit road speed. That's going to be really interesting at like Bristol. The car definitely feels a little more sensitive, and I'm quite nervous to go through the front stretch kink there. There we go. It wasn't quite flat out, but it was close. Okay, it might be quicker, and I bet I can actually go even a little more aggressive on the 4th gear. I'm not sure if there's a restrictor plate or not on this. I think I read something about how it's the same physics no matter the circuit, then implement restrictor plates in this sim. If I look at the tracks, Talladega, which again this is based off of, is definitely the one that changed the most between NASCAR 1 and NASCAR 2. They heard people loud and clear. I think everybody online back then wanted to race at Talladega, and this wasn't cutting it for a lot of them. But some of the other tracks are quite good, so you'll see. All right, was that any better that time? Up to 34th, so you know, making a little bit of progress. Unfortunately, there's not going to be a lot I can do here if the car's just not quick at all. We'll have to see. Got one car behind me pushing me. I don't know how much the draft actually does in NASCAR 1. But we'll have to see. Coming up on Harry Gant in the Skull Bandit car. Oh, the car is really weird on entry now with the spoiler so much lower. Does anybody know if I should lower the front air dam? I don't know what that would do. Is that just a gap between the car and the surface? I wonder if that could speed us up at all. That was pretty much a flat out lap, and it definitely improved the speed, but we're still 34th, and I think that's only because the cars behind me originally did not get lap times. See if this lap's any better. I think I'm a little quicker. I think I can raise the fourth gear again a little bit. I don't want to spend forever practicing. The goal is to do a few races tonight, not just this first one. And so and they're 10% races, so this is going to be, what, 20 laps around Daytona here, which sounds actually like a long time now. Oh, and I was wondering why it's taking so long to update the times. Yeah, the start-finish line is still at the same spot that it would be at Talladega. So, we got to make sure we don't let off the throttle when we pass the line in the middle of the kink on the front stretch. Yeah, there's no official, I guess I'd call it 1970 car set for Grand Prix Legends just yet. Salvador in the chat asking about that. There's one in the works and some screenshots out there of it, of a full mod, which would be really amazing. I'd be so excited for that to come out. Good here. And then there's a really old car set for Grand Prix Legends for 1970, but it's not quite worth the time. All right, so a couple more settings. Yeah, which way do I gotta go at the front air dam? What does that do? I'm gonna see if lowering it does anything. Well, that's as low as we can go, 3.5 inches. So we'll see fourth gear. I'm just worried that if I do get in the draft, that I'm gonna hate the gearing. No, I don't mean. All right, let's try one more run. I didn't count down again. Try one more run here. No, so it's not. There is the Can-Am 1971 mod for Grand Prix Legends, but there is a 1970 F1 mod in the making. So yeah, I think the air dam is definitely the kind of like the splitter these days. Third feels very long. I saw a comment before about the gauges. I do like how they're done as well, except if you want to bring up any of the info windows, like I just had on, it covers the oil pressure, oil temp, and water temp gauges. So, and even though it's kind of see-through, you can't actually see through it. So that's one negative. But for anybody familiar with iRacing, this will be very familiar. We got the lap info screen, standing screen. They didn't implement yet the in front of you, behind you type view for it. It's just the lap order, lap speed. Got tire temps, fuel info, all the stuff we need. Pretty crazy for a sim from this time. Oh. Car actually feels a little better coming into the into the corner now. I don't think the tire model is the same as iRacing, but I get the joke. Yeah, I mean, we've picked up a few miles an hour, so ooh, just scraping the wall. If I do that a little bit, it won't hurt the car. Yeah, even though it makes a big bang. Oh, it just feels so sluggish coming through the corner. All right, we'll come to the kink. Flat out, hopefully. Cross the line there. 181 on that lap. That doesn't feel too good. I did have a drafting partner last time, so I'm hoping that that's not what I need to win here, but I'm not sure what else I can really change, and I'd rather just get through Daytona. If I'm super far behind, you know, we might just park it if we're going to finish last and move on, because I know I'll be somewhat competitive at the other circuits. It might just be this weird fever dream Daytona that doesn't work so well. slip in behind Loyal in here and see if we can bump draft a little bit. I don't know if there's drafting. It must be drafting, right? Not any faster that lap just yet. Mechanical failures, I believe, are modeled. Definitely, I mean, they're full damage, and there's only an on and off setting I was looking at before, so if you hit the wall hard, your race is going to be over. But the cars are much more robust than they were in the Indy games. So they were definitely trying to let you beat and bang a little bit, but it's kind of classic physics where sometimes you just get into a situation where you can't catch the car. There's like no feeling. I mean, there's no force feedback, but there's very little to no feeling on the wheel of what you're doing. Okay, is that going to be any quicker? 186. We improved one position. That's good enough for me. All right, so let's go to next session, and we will qualify the car and see how well I can do. So if I'm looking at the lap times there, I think those are the qualifying lap times that I need to do. And I think that's quicker than I just went with a draft. So this might be very much a last place start. We'll see if we can get anything out. And yeah, going to be a pretty boring qualifying, just flat out. What time is it in Australia right now? I guess West Coast Adelaide, right? So it'll be a little later in the day? I don't know how that works. Alright, so we'll come down to the invisible start-finish line to begin the lap. I think there might be a qualifying setup, but I'm not sure what else. I guess I should have checked it out. Promise to do it for future circuits. I'm not too optimistic about Daytona here after the practice. I'm regretting a little bit including it. So we'll come to the line. I think it's probably going to be a 2-lap. We'll see if we're anywhere close. I don't think I'm going to pick up any more speed than I've gotten on this lap. To the invisible line, 39th. Well, I'll just round out the qualifying, but yeah, it's 5 miles an hour, so we're going to get that provisional into the 500. And hopefully I can do something weird on the start to make up a few positions, because it seemed like I was able to stay in front of that one car in practice, and so maybe I can exploit the AI or something. To not finish last. That's the goal at Daytona right now, is not finishing in last place. Ugh. Coming across the line then. Okay, picked up 3 miles an hour. So it's about 2 miles an hour. That's not the worst thing in the world. I did put the caution on, the full cautions, which I might also regret later, but we'll see. Okay, so about to start round 1 here at Daytona. It's a 20-lap race, and it's going to be potentially a a bad race. we'll see. The plan is to avoid finishing last. So we'll see if we can do that. So we'll do the one pace lap. Axel Richardson Jr. here for the 94 car. Starting dead last, we're behind Greg Sachs and Rick Mast. We'll see what the grid is. I don't know if there was a way to look at that before we got into here. So Jeff Bodine starting on the pole in the 7 with Ernie Irvin behind him, Harry Gant, and then Dale Earnhardt in the 3, 4th position, Jeff Gordon in 5th. Mark Martin, Terry Labonte, Ken Schrader, Sterling Marlin, Morgan Shepard. I'm actually surprised I can remember all the names just by the first letter. Oh gosh, they're changing position on me too. I'm gonna make sure I don't blow my engine here. Brett Bodine, Joe Nemechek, Jeff Burton, Rusty Wallace, and Mike Wallace, maybe. Jimmy Spencer, Jeffrey Purvis, Dave Marcus, one of the greats. Dale Jarrett, Michael Waltrip, or Darrell Waltrip, Michael Waltrip right behind him. Got the Waltrip brothers together. The car's all over the place here, going slow on the banking. It's like sliding down. The corners here must be banked 45 degrees. I don't know why they did that. All right, so coming to the end of the pace lap. I don't know when the green flag is going to come out, because remember, the start-finish line is actually at the Talladega spot. 20 laps, and the green flag is out already. Oh, that was not good. I did not get the jump I was thinking I might. I'm super bogged down in 3rd gear. Oh, but they're slowing down a little bit through the kink. Up into 4th gear then. I don't know how this is going to work out. Field spreading out in front. Oh, coming in behind Kyle Petty then. Was able to get around Rick Mast. Almost touching Greg Sachs there. No, I gotta slide up in front of Rick Mast to make sure I don't lose the draft. Okay, so we're not in last, and I'm beating Rick Mast so far. It's coming through the 3rd and 4th turns. And I'm not super optimistic about catching back up to the cars in front. We'll see what we can do as we go through the kink. Maybe they're going to let up a little bit. All right, 19 laps to go. In the 43, I think it's Wally Dallenbach, right, in the 43. So which line do I go? Because if I go high, I can maybe pass him, but then Rick Mast is going to get below me here. Oh yeah, able to make up a couple more positions. Oh, car getting squirrely down the back straightaway, almost touching Todd Bodine. Scraping the wall a little bit. Okay, Todd Bodine able to get back in front. I think I got a car below me, maybe not. So what did I make up? 2 more positions there. All right, so in 36th position now. 18 to go. Just really going to count down the laps at Daytona here. Not a lot of, especially once it gets like this, there's not so much skill involved as just holding the throttle down and praying. As Todd Bodine turns into a little speck in front of us, trying to stay in his tire tracks, but making small adjustments with the wheels actually really hard in the sim. I don't know why, but the center is such a huge dead zone. Just coming to the end of another lap. Doesn't seem like they're letting off at all. About a second behind the cars in front. But steadily keeping my 3-car advantage behind me. car loses so much speed coming out of turn 2 there. It really bogs down. Getting up to 190 miles an hour at the end of the back straightaway. Try not to scrub off any speed, but the car, it just feels like inevitably it loses speed towards the end of the corner. Greg Sachs looking low a little bit. We're going to block him. Successful block for Axel Richardson Jr. Or if I can run it a little high out of 2. I don't know why the car slows down so much, but it totally kills my momentum. Steve Wonder, I would listen to you. However, there's no way. There's no way I'm getting back around him if I let him by. I think this might be as good as it gets, so settle in for a smooth 15 laps. Oh, I don't want Greg Sachs to get below me. Now, they would just go way faster than me if I let them by. Car a little tight on the rear there. I think the AI just for this modded Daytona version might be a little out of sync. The other tracks, it definitely is a little better, or a little closer. Although I don't know if I'm pulling in at all, but visually, I don't know if I'm tricking myself, but it feels like I just gained a little bit on the group in front there. Yeah, I'm running this in DOSBox. It runs pretty well. And I do got the full wheel and pedal and everything. Working with it. It's true, I am going to lose some fuel as we go here, so it might improve my speed. Oh, cars in front going out wide a little bit. Oh, and the texture is just loaded on the car in front, and that's how I know I have gained a little bit. So we're coming in on Todd of Bodine here. Oh, thank God. Alright, so maybe picking up the draft now. Yeah, I do have the degrees of rotation on the G27 turned way down. I think it's at like 220 or something, just to give it the right responsiveness, because car is all over the place otherwise. Alright, so we're going to try to go high on Bodine, but he's just a little faster there, so we'll stick in behind him. So we can go low then, don't want to tap him all the way down onto the apron. The car reacted much, much faster than I thought it would. So Bodine coming out behind us, picked up another position, up to 35th then. What's up, GT Speedster? How we doing? I might be too afraid to try bumping to see if bump drafting works. Oh, I'm trying to get it through the tight kink. So a 11 laps to go, so coming to about halfway. And we're not last, so I am succeeding in my original goal. I don't know why I was able to gain on Bodine there, but he suddenly fell off that pack in front and was hopeful the rest of them would too, but not sure about that. So 10 laps to go here at the drunk version of Daytona. It's just tiny micro adjustments on the steering wheel because it is very sensitive. There's this weird dead zone in the middle, and then suddenly it picks up and turns the car a lot, and it almost feels like the steering isn't linear, but that's what it's set to, so not sure. All right, car in front seems to have fallen off the pack in front of him. Let's see if we're catching him. I think is funny, this circuit built off the Talladega version still has, they couldn't figure out how to move the start finish line or anything with the mod, and they called it USA Speedway because they were seriously afraid that Sega or Daytona would sue whoever made this modification, that and I don't think it ever came to anything like that, but really interesting how much it's changed. Daytona's pretty much in every NASCAR sim for sure, and even then a lot of others, just being a famous circuit. Rights were a weird thing back in the 90s. Anybody who played all the N64 PlayStation games would remember that none of the driver rosters were complete. All the circuits, never were finished. The EA games, even at the pinnacle of what people call the NASCAR console games, didn't even have all the circuits in them. So I think I'm barely closing in on this car in front. Pretty easy to keep these guys behind, luckily. The textures have just loaded in, so we're pulling in. Ooh, a car got kind of weirdly loose there coming out of the corner. Last thing I want to do now is spin it out after holding it flat throttle for 13 laps. Thought I was closing in, but not sure if I am too much. These skid marks are actually the groove on the circuit. They're not actual skid marks. They couldn't really do shading with the textures, so they would put the skid marks at the place you're supposed to drive on the circuit. Coming to complete another lap, just 6 laps to go then. So starting off the season slowly, and of course it's the championship for NASCAR, right? So it's going to be a full season points championship, so this race matters just as much as any of the other ones, and not going to be starting it off too well. I cannot imagine doing a full-length race at this circuit. It would be mind-numbing. I have done full-length races in the Indy games, and much more compelling than this. We're doing a 10% race, so it's just 20 laps here at Daytona. Yeah, Robert, there's 2 road courses on the NASCAR circuit. So the season's 31 races, and there's two road courses. Watkins Glen and Sears Point. Or I call it Sears Point because we're in the 90s, but yeah, Sonoma. Infineon, whatever it's called these days. I was really hoping I'd close in on this car in front, but every time I get close, it seems like it's just about staying with me in speed. I think this sim would be more fun to do a full race at any other track other than this one, to be honest. Alright, 4 laps to go then. Yeah, because if you're doing a full race around here, that would be, 184 laps or whatever to go, which would be a little too much. I'm not looking forward, I'll be upfront about it, not looking forward to the road courses in this game. With the steering, they're so difficult and tricky, and I think if they were all road courses, I would maybe do better because I could get used to it, but since there's only 2, it would be very difficult. So we'll come across the line then. 3 laps to go. I think the AI is especially bad at Watkins Glen, if I can remember. I did do a series of races in this just myself much earlier in the year, and if I remember right, Watkins Glen is not a great one. I think I pulled in just a little bit in this car in front, and if I can get the draft, maybe we can make up one more spot. Remember, it'll be points, so points are definitely worth something. I think it'll probably only be like 5 points or something to pass this guy, but two laps to go. Car sliding a little wide. I don't want to cut it down too much because it'll scrub off a lot of speed. So we'll come out of the 4th turn towards the line. Start our final lap of this dreadful race to start off. Hopefully a fun season. 1 more lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One. Can't help it. And I think I am pulling in on this car in front, but just a little bit too late. Keep it nice and tidy through the 3rd and 4th turns. Not even using half the fuel tank. Car getting a little squirrely there. Don't want to lose it on the very last lap, but then coming to the line to end our first race. Almost called it a Grand Prix. And look at that, the cars in front even let off a little bit. Who did we have here? Todd Bodine, or who is this? The 15. It would have been Bodine, Brett Bodine. Lake Speed. Brett Bodine, I think, raced that a little earlier. All right, so finishing up at Daytona. Race 1. And I will say, if you're still here, and I appreciate everybody coming in, It is going to get a whole lot better after this one. So we'll end it. And the sad crew with the mustache man pushing our car, dejected at the opening race. But it's the first race for young Axel Richardson Jr. And so things will go much, much up from here. All right. So let me pop on a little bit of tunes. The silence is deafening in this sim, and I think it hurts when it clicks on the actual. What do we got to do here? Do I have to? Maybe I have to actually finish and park in my pit stall to end the race. Or actually, I feel like I remember this. You just kind of quit, which is weird, and I'm scared to do it. Let's take a quick look at the results in case that was all for nothing. I hope it's not. Ernie Irvin won the 500 from Jeff Bodine and Dale Earnhardt. So, winning the big race, Jeff Bodine. We came all the way back. Axel Richardson Jr., 35th position. Started 39th. We improved, which is all I could really ask for, I think. All right. So, done, I guess. Can anybody tell me if I just exit or do I need to resume? I'm worried to exit. I thought there might be a next button. Whoever tells me first, as long as you're right, I will listen to you. Maybe I'm going to drive around to the pits just in case. We're almost there anyway, I think. Or I guess we're, coming out of the fourth turn, so just in case. Right, Axel Bubbles Richardson Jr. It's a good name. It's a strong name. They don't name kids like this anymore. Everybody else is parking, so I'm going to do the same. Okay. Yeah, I think I just exit. Let's cross our fingers. Hey, it worked. Okay, so this actually gives us the real results and everything with points. So Ernie Irvin, 185 points. Yeah, Alt F4. Please no. 185 points. It's the weirdest point system, but NASCAR used this from like the 70s all the way until the early 2000s. So it's like the classic NASCAR points. And so what did we end up with? All the way back in 35th position, 58 points. So by passing a car, right, I picked up a few points, and it's going to all add up at the end of the season. You watch. So it was a 93-degree day. I wish I knew that beforehand. I guess it wouldn't have mattered. No lead changes, which is a good race. I hope the fans liked it. All right, so moving on. Next season race, yes, please. So we move from Daytona to Rockingham. This will definitely be a little more exciting. Looking at the points again, it really wants us to know exactly where the points are. So let's take a quick look in the garage for Rockingham. So Rockingham is, I think, a mile around. And so we'll go fast setup to start. It's a high bank track, and it's definitely one of the more difficult tracks in real life. I'm not sure how it's going to be in the sim here. I'm going to leave all the settings to where they're at, and we're going to join the practice here. All right. We'll do a few laps, just make sure things feel good, then jump into qualifying and the race. Apparently the speed limit's going to be 55 miles an hour on every track, which is going to be really fast. I like that we have the Unical 65 ball here at Rockingham. This has got dual pit lanes on it. I forgot about that. We're always going to pit on the front stretch, thankfully. I don't have to guess with that. Yeah, this is one of the classic good NASCAR tracks. And I'll mention, we're going to race at North Wilkesboro as well during this season. Ooh, car got a little loose there. Ooh, just smacking the wall for good measure on entry. The hits sound brutal, but something like that won't hurt the car, only if we spin it out and nose it in or something. The biggest thing we're going to have to watch out for on these circuits is hitting other drivers. Avoiding the AI is probably the hardest part of this sim. We just need to do about 5 laps before some of them are going to come out here and show me what they got, so we can see if I'm competitive or if I got to go back to the garage. Car feels all right though, a little loose on exit, but not too worried about it. Alright, so there we go. Jeff Burton, a couple miles up. Dave Marcus, same speed as me, so this is gonna go better than Daytona for sure. I might agree that it's tight on entry, but it honestly feels a little tight, then it feels loose. There we go, 144. You get this weird wobbling when you're really on the limit with the grip, and it's something that the car can do on fresh tires. Throw it into the corner and just kind of wobbles back and forth like you see there, but once the tires wear out, it actually is hard to do that. And the car will spin out if you do it too hard. Alright, so we're in the top 5 right now. 31's going to come up and smack me. Sometimes they do a lot of weird things, but honestly, that was a weird entry that time. Touching the apron. Trying not to come down into the car in front. Spinning out the 51 there. It's going to cause a pile up on the front straightaway. We'll see. Sometimes spinning out one car leads to a large chain reaction. As you can see, everybody's slowed down. All right. Is it Neil Bonnet in the 51? I'm not sure he is. Neil Bonnet would have passed away, unfortunately, at Daytona in real life during practice. So I'll take a look at who the 51 is, but let's see. I hope it's not Neil Bonnet. Jeff Purvis. Nobody cares. All right, we're good. All right, so the car feels okay. I don't think I'm super far off the pace considering, as I say that and jump to 9th. Cross the line there. See if I can do a quicker lap. I think the car's got more speed in it. I just got to learn the feel. Don't want to spend too much time in practice on these. Just get the car set up okay and then do the race. Yeah, I think I just need to hug the low line to get a good lap. Although it feels like I gotta slow the car way down to do it. In real life, Rockingham was an extremely abrasive circuit, especially into the later 90s and 2000s before they stopped racing there. And it was classic that somebody who's on fresh tires would just zoom past everybody. I have no idea if that's modeled at all in this sim, but I know it was in some of the later NASCAR sims. And it always made it super hard, or tempting really, to pit whenever. Yeah, I should check the tires real quick there. No overheating, so we're good. All right. So slow the car down by slapping it on the apron. Park it here. We'll come out and get to our next session and go to qualify. So hopefully can turn a pretty good lap. Looks like the cars at the back of the grid have done a 143. I was just doing 144s, so should bode well to qualify at least somewhat in the field. Yeah, probably not going to be at the front. I don't think I'm doing a 148, but we should not be last. And the further up, the fewer cars we have to pass or avoid. So. Sending it into turn 3 then. Trying to get on the throttle. Car is really loose with new tires. We'll start our first lap. Lap starts right away as you come out of the pits, so you gotta be on it. I don't think there's a tape setting in this sim, so... And if there is, let me know where it is. Just tapped the wall. Only one lap qualifying, but at least I did the 44, so I'm up to 28th. 28th out of, what was it? It was a full 39, so not the best, but much better than Daytona was. All right, so we'll go to the race now. It's a 49 lap race. This is a long race in real life, but 49 laps here in the sim. We've got 22 gallons, full thing going. So we'll start the race. So let's just quickly look who we got on the pole. Harry Gant, once again, up towards the front there, having a good start to the season. Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, Mark Martin behind him. We're starting back here. Behind Dale Jarrett in the 18. Yeah, I don't think they implemented tape until at least NASCAR 2 for some reason. So will Axel Richardson Jr. make it through Rockingham unscathed? This is probably one of the harder tracks, honestly. So we'll see how I do. Try to take it easy the first few laps and feel things out. Hopefully the race just gets going. No major incidents. Goal in this one is to finish higher than we started. Pick up some more points. Green flag underway. All right, sliding through the first and second turns on the high line. Heading onto the back straightaway then. Oh, just letting out. Not sure if the cars were going to cut up in front of me, but luckily they're staying low. Into turns 3 and 4, making a little bit of pace here on the outside. Coming out of the turn, a little bit of a knock from behind, but making it through the first lap, luckily. Car, a little bit of loose on exit. Likes to wrap itself around the bottom of the track when it gets loose. Who is that? Derek Cope on my outside. Derek Cope, claim to fame is that random Daytona 500 win he had. Making a little contact with Dale Jarrett there. It's the precursor to Starcom with Derek Cope behind us. Somehow, I've made contact with a couple cars, but we have not spun out just yet, which is good. So if we can throw it under Loy Allen here. Yeah, if you want to see a bad handling car, just take a look at this thing right now. It's loose, and it's tight, and it's loose. Once the tires heat up and they're starting to get there, it's going to be a little easier to manage. But making it 3 wide down the front straightaway, a little too aggressive of a move this early in the race. So I think I've lost a couple positions somehow. I thought I was gaining stuff here. Ted Musgrave almost turning into me, making it under Loy Allen then. up in the turn. Wasn't getting a good entry that time. All right, I like the high line coming out of turn 4 there. Throw it down the inside. Wallace. I don't know what happened to this car's paint scheme in front of me. I feel like the rest of them, it's crude, but they look okay. This one, I don't know who painted it. Steve Grissom's car. It's pretty rough. So 42 laps to go, sitting in 26th. We start 28th, so picking up 2 spots already. On the outside here of Grissom. Grissom, I barely know him. This will come down out of turn 4, making the old crossover. Got Michael Waltrip there in the Pennzoil cars. Whoa, running a little wide. Car getting loose. I don't think I've ever saved a car that was that sideways in this game before. All right, that was my one almost mistake. So we can gather it back up here. I don't think we'll pit at all, but if the caution was running really wide there, that was a pretty hard hit. Might have damaged it. If the caution does come out, take a look at the tire wear because it might be worth it. I'll have to see how far the lap times fall throughout a run. I think I'm doing quicker laps now than I did in practice or anything. Tapping the wall there, a big crunch from the car. So things have strung out a little bit. I feel like it might be a little quicker than this group in front. I'm just gonna put a couple nice laps together. There we go. Come down below Steve Grissom, brake at the appropriate point. Sliding it in a little bit. I'm going to run a little wide. Is Grissom going to be able to go under me? He tries, but I'm able to get the position. So P25 then. Feels weird to say that after I've been playing so many F1 games, but P25, about, I'll call it close to halfway up the field. Yeah, NASCAR was built on cheating, right? So we'll see what we can pull out here. I'm surprised how good the AI is here. I mean, give me a break. This is pretty good for a game from 1994. Hasn't been any major pileups. They've done mostly okay things so far. I've tapped them. They have not died. So we're coming to the corner. Speaking of tapping, getting really close to Michael Waltrip there on the low side. Able to get the position, but we're side by side down the back straightaway. Able to get the position on him then up to 24th. Working for the money today. Trying to get the advantage on Rick Mass, but running wide. It looks like I'm losing a few positions then. Outside of Grissom and Musgrave. See if we can almost getting squeezed, or did get squeezed into the wall, almost hit Michael Waltrip, tapping it off the wall. This isn't good. We need to get back to the bottom side. Grissom blocking the low line. He knows where I want to go. He heard me make fun of his car. Alright, I think we've got it back under control now. Steve Grissom. Didn't think that's who we would be racing, but I was hoping more for like Dale Earnhardt. We'll take Steve. Alright, making a good run then. Slide it up the inside. Into turn one. Trying not to slide too wide, but able to get the position. He's also on the high side. He's got another car. Looks like Mike Wallace overtaking him too. Taking that high line through 1 and 2. I got to figure out a better way to get through there so I don't slide so wide. I don't know why the car won't grip there. It feels like I'm entering well, but then maybe the banking goes away from me. Mike Wallace able to get by though. Under Mike Wallace again here is flying down the front straightaway. Trying to just get on the brakes. I think I just got to slow the car down much more than I'm thinking. Maybe the circuit is more abrasive on tires than some of the others. I don't know if they were that good at modeling stuff like that in these days. Just slamming on the brakes there as they come into the corner. All right, slowly but surely pulling in on Mikey here. I have successfully figured out the low line in turns 1 and 2. Just bridging the apron in the circuit. Sometimes you can get kind of a weird amount of grip. Help yourself out that way. If that counts as a little bit of bending the rules, I'll take it. Looks like Mikey got slowed up there, down the front straightaway, up the inside. Really slamming on the brakes. Able to make it stick though. Side by side still down the back straightaway. Try not to overdo it like last time. Alright, getting up into 24th then. Equaling the highest position we've had in this one. Now running a little wide, but chop off Mikey. I don't want him getting back around me. So we're staring at the back of Rick Masson. I think that's Terry Labonte in front of him. Recognize that Kellogg's car from anywhere. 21 laps to go. So over halfway done. Up just a few spots, but I don't know how I lost so many off the start. I thought running around the outside I actually picked up a few. right, diving down low on Rick Mass. Seems like this front into turn 1 down the front straightaway is our big passing zone. Able to make it work on the middle of the track then. Thanks for the sub, Racer Knight. So 19 laps to go, under 20 to go. Let's see if we can maybe, cross my fingers here, maybe we can get a top 20. I think we've got Dave Marcus in front of Terry Labonte there. I love Dave Marcus. What a good classic NASCAR driver. The guy raced until he was nearly 70 years old, I think, in NASCAR. Wore wingtip leather shoes the whole time. Always had a Goodyear hat on. Still around too. Yeah, Phil, I miss the days too when week after week the cars would look the same. I think it hurts the sport that they don't look the same anymore. And Formula One's, I think, just about the only motorsport now. Formula One, MotoGP, maybe I don't watch too much of it, but you know that's maybe the only sport where the liveries don't change. Although the drivers change their helmets now every single race, but I think it added a lot that every week the guys would be the same. And actually, it's the McDonald's car in front of me, not Terry Labonte. It would be a little far back for Terry Labonte. I think he was quite good in 1994. All right, 27 car. I'm not even sure who that is. We'll find out as soon as we pass him. On the front straightaway down the inside, making the favorite move of Axel Richardson past Jimmy Spencer in the 27. Now looking for Dave Marcus. $13 laps to go. I got enough laps to get into the top 20, I think. Car feels good. Crossing the line there, 12 to go. Yeah, it seems like maybe I've been able to save my tires better or something. Bad line there through 1 and 2. I think Marcus here, sponsored by the Olive Garden. I wonder if he wins if everybody gets free breadsticks. And I hope I didn't curse myself by being confident about being able to get to the top 20 here. I'm going to stall out with just 10 laps to go. Here at Rockingham, round 2 in the championship after a very uneventful Daytona, I would say. And just stalling out a little bit is very frustrating. 21st position. One spot away from a top 20. All right, did an okay job in 1 and 2 that time. Marcus is getting racy. That could help me out. on, the yellow flag comes out. We got to race back to the line. That's one of those things in 90s NASCAR. Or I guess NASCAR up until, pretty recently, early 2000s. You got to race back to the line. I don't know why there was a caution. It was really going to spice stuff up. The road is closed. All right, taking the yellow flag. So let's take a quick peek. Tires are pretty worn, but there's very few laps to go. If the AI pits, I'm pitting. One car going in there, but only one car. Make sure we don't smack into the back of Marcus here. Only 6 laps to go, but if the AI pits, I gotta pit. Road is open now. It looks like everybody's going to stay out, so we're going to stay out too. I think tires, although they're pretty worn, the lap time 1:43.4 on my last lap, so I haven't lost that much time. No, not worth the pit. So 6 laps. I think we'll get green. In these days, the NASCAR races could end under yellow, so if we got a caution too late in the race, it would end under yellow. It wouldn't make sense to pit for tires if my laps were still in the 1:43 range. I wouldn't lose a lap, but I'd be at the very back of the pack, and I just don't think there's time to make it up. There's probably going to be 2 laps to go, maybe. We'll have to see what it says this time by. I think it'll give us a 1 to go warning, hopefully. If there was a longer distance, I might want to try it, but it's been tough to pass cars. 1 lap to go till green. So okay, we'll have a few laps to go. We got Mr. Marcus in front of us here. We are in 20th, so I really just need to hold on. I want to maybe pick up a couple more spots, but a top 20 finish would not be too bad considering we started in 28th. Warm up the tires a little bit. Avoid a George Russell situation. Green flag is out a little earlier than I was expecting. Flat out though, up through the gears. I don't think I can pass before the start-finish line. I know that was a rule. I don't know if it was implemented into the sim, but getting a run on Dave Marcus, then down into the first and second corners, trying to keep it nice and low. Little car a little slidey, not able to get the throttle down. Coming out of the corner, now into 3 and 4. All right, I know what I have at least in the car. Chasing Hut Strickland here. Into turn 1, making another move. Yellow flag out again. This is going to end the race. See if I can get around Strickland here. Ugh. Car got really loose coming out of the corner. Marcus almost able to get back on me, but see if we can pass Strickland coming to the line for the yellow. All right. 18th position then, and I think that's going to end the race. We just got to do a couple parade laps here, but making 2 spots there on the start, and I think I got 1 just from a car pitting. So 18th position. What do we got for laps left? Yeah, just 2, so it's going to end under yellow. It's too bad it didn't go green the rest of it, because I think I was coming out of the box pretty hot there. Maybe could have got Darrell Waltrip here, but Jeff Purvis in front of him, probably a little upset after practice, so maybe best that I didn't get the chance. 1 lap to go under the yellow. Thanks, JT. I appreciate it. I'm newer to the streaming thing, but I'm having a lot of fun for it. I think I can do some different types of videos than, or different types of content than the videos. So coming around turns 3 and 4. Thank you, Javier. Appreciate that. I think NASCAR would be in revolt, all the fans these days, if a race ended under yellow. But that's how it used to be. The race would go as many laps as it would. And winning under yellow is just as reasonable as winning under the green flag. Many people will forget, but Dale Earnhardt won his Daytona 500 under the yellow flag. He did not win under the green flag. There was a crash with like 2 laps to go, and he won. So, finishing in 18th position then. The crew still looking just as sad as they did before, but Axel Richardson doing a little bit better. All right, so ending our race at North Carolina with an 18th place finish, 109 points. I'll come to the top here, see who won. Harry Gant wins. Led every lap from Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt. Not a lot of passing at the very front of the grid so far, it seems. Mark Martin and Jeff Bodine behind him. And I think if I click again, we'll take a look at the total points then. So we're in 27th position. So I picked up quite a bit with those 100 points. And taking a look towards the front of our championship, Harry Gant, Dale Earnhardt battling it out. We'll see how close it comes down to towards the end of the season. I bet we'll be surprised how close it does end up being. So Ernie Irvan not having such a good follow-up to his Daytona, probably partied a little too hard after that Daytona 500 win. So getting all the way down to 13th. Maybe had some issues in the last race. Harry Gant at the top of the points so far. Go to the next season race. So I'm going to take a quick break. The idea here is I'll be coming back and doing at least a couple more races. So thanks for watching so far, and I'll be back in just a couple minutes. Okay. So Richmond is our next race. Richmond, the short track. Which, this would have been one of the earlier seasons with the quote-unquote modern layout of Richmond. But I don't know, people, I think watching racing on the old Richmond layout was quite good, but racing wise, I'd like the newer one better, honestly. I might be alone in that. Appreciate everybody coming out to watch today. I don't think I've ever streamed at this time, so it's been fun so far. I think it seems like people are enjoying it. So a long season in front of us, but we'll do maybe a couple more races here tonight. Tony doesn't like either Richmonds. Well, win some, you lose some. Definitely not my favorite circuit in NASCAR, that's for sure. But we'll have to see. I don't know how good the Richmond is in NASCAR 1, so I guess we'll see. All right, so taking a look, we just looked at the points, but I am Axel Richardson Bubbles. Axel Bubbles Richardson Jr., 27th position, 167 points. Got a little bit of a gap already to Hut Strickland and Ted Musgrave in front of us, but it's just after 2 races, so plenty of time here. Just try to be consistent. Alrighty. We'll take a quick peek at the garage. And load. So there's a qualifying setup. So I'm going to use it this time, see if it does anything for us. We'll keep everything on the fast settings and go do a few practice laps. All right. Yeah, the track here should be a good race, I think. Tighter short tracks, I feel like I might be a bit quicker on. I think the AI aren't quite as quick. I know Martinsville specifically, I think, is one where they are AI aren't super fast, so we'll have to see what they're like at Richmond. Ooh, car a little loose there. This is Richmond back in the days when the grandstands went literally all the way around the circuit. Whoa, car loose, almost nosing it into the wall there, and there's no protective barrier on the wall in the sim here, so we were going to pieces if we hit it. Car is very slidey. Ugh, almost sliding into that car there. Tracks are definitely different feeling. It's pretty cool how they were able to get the cars to react differently to different tracks. I think they have different levels of grip and everything. Obviously the banking's different here, but it doesn't feel like Rockingham, that's for sure. And in a NASCAR sim, that's really important because they're all circles. Even as a NASCAR fan, I'll say that. They're all circles, so if they're not, the small differences aren't there, it's not as compelling. Alright, bad laps so far, sliding all over the place. Maybe the tires will get up to temperature, but the car feels kind of loose, and then it feels tight again. We'll go passing Terry Labonte. All right, jumping to the top of the timesheets. Look at that right there. Axel Richardson is in front of Dale Earnhardt and Jeff Gordon. The car is literally all over the place, but loose is fast, I guess. Yeah, I might need to tighten it up just because I'm going to spin out at some point during this race. I don't know how many laps this will be, but even if it's like 40 laps, it'll be a heck of a time trying to hold this car. To see where the weight is. I don't even know what we can change in the sim. almost over revving there in the front straightaway. That was finally a decent exit from one of the corners. So I might be a little over revving, which I know can hurt the engine. There you go, straight to the top. Wow, a 125. The car is good, it's just really hard to drive. But Jeff Gordon coming back with a 123. So things are feeling pretty good here. I'm optimistic about this. Yeah, I gotta make so changes incoming. Somebody keep a list. Fourth gear needs to be like a tick taller so we don't blow the engine, especially when we run out of fuel. I need to figure out a way to tighten the car on exit while keeping the turn in at least as good as it is now. Take a quick look here at the tire temps. The left front's not doing anything. Interesting. It's almost like it's a sprint car. But we're not overheating anything, which is good. Yeah, the tire squeal sound is quite higher than it would be in real life, but that's all you really had to go off of for how the tires are doing. So they're actually doing okay. So gearing, see if we can tighten up the exit just a little bit. Although after the tires heated up, it wasn't so bad. And the left front's just along for a ride. I haven't shown it at all because we haven't had any good incidents or anything, but the replay system in this sim is great. It's, just as good as NR 2003, honestly. They didn't really improve it at all since then, but it's awesome. Anyways, we'll take a look at the garage then. So we do have a weight jacker, which is good. Hold on. So we do have a weight jacker. Oh my gosh, they really went to town with everything that you can do. Crossway, we're right in the middle. Rear bias, left bias, left bias. Okay, and that's the rear. So I'm going to rear bias. I want to bring the weight forward, 51%. So I want it to be less. So let's do that. Let me see where the spoiler is as well. Can we raise that? No. Full up. That's not a big change, but honestly, after the first few laps, the car felt okay. So I'm going to keep things where they were. And then gears. I just need to lengthen this a little bit. I'm going to go... I'm just going to do a click. We'll take it out for like a couple quick laps. Call this the axle setup. Gotta remember to change the setups between the sessions. Alright. Let's see. So I got a 125, which was very quick. Laps are obviously, they're measured in miles per hour, which is, being an American, it's still a weird way to do it to me. It's kind of cool at like in Indianapolis where you can rattle off the times and it's just a succinct thing, but they don't really mean anything. I was only going 125 miles an hour for a small part of the lap, but it's the average speed, I guess. Okay. Car felt a little better that time. Let's see where the gear gets up to. Oh, might need one more tick in fourth. Tight on the front straightaway, all over the place. Passing Dale Earnhardt. I think we got a real shot at this one. Unless the AI are just joking with me in practice here. It feels fast. Yeah, we're going to need to raise fourth even more. bad line through 4, but the car feels much more stable now. So I think we figured that part out. So just a little taller 4th gear. All right, so we'll just fix that one thing. One more notch there. Save the setup as my axle setup. All right. All right, so let's do some qualifying. And I will remember to load the qualifying setup this time. Honestly, we'll see if this works, because if it's slower, I swear that I will I'll be very upset. But we'll do qualifying. This Richmond race is going to end up being a 40-lap race. Well, almost no fuel in the car, so that'll make it feel much different, but obviously it'll be a little quicker. Axel's already got the sweet full-time cup deal racing, sponsored by NASCAR. Can't be much better than that. I'm worried it's going to over-rev the car, to be honest. I'm getting that high just babying it down the backstretch, but we'll see here. All right, to start the lap. All the way to the top of the limiter, sliding into the first turn. Got like no grip in the tires. I think it's just going to be one lap here. Whoa. Got loose on exit, not a great exit. This is kind of a mess of a lap. Trying to make something out of this turn 3 and 4. Car kind of loose. And a 121. Oh, it's a terrible time. Down in P28. Okay, well, I think the verdict is out on the qualifying setups. I don't know if I'm doing that again. I guess I'd have to practice the qualifying setup and tune it as well. Okay, well, let's take a quick peek at the starting grid. Mark Martin got the pole with the 125. I could have been up there, although they're quick, but I was almost that quick in practice. So we will go to the next session and then go to the race. Quickly, though, go to the garage and change our setup back to the good one. Let's make sure everything is good to go. All right, so we're going to start our race at Richmond, starting in 28th position, which is way further back than I know I'm capable of. So this is going to be a 40 laps of just trying to stay out of trouble and waiting for things to get strung out a little bit and then trying to get towards the front. So I think if I had qualified well, this could have been a win. But I guess we'll hope for a top 10 here. So we're way at the back of the grid. Everybody cross their fingers. Now there's only, it seems to be there's only 28 cars in the race. I was thinking I had at least a few positions, but and this isn't super unrealistic. Back in the 80s, 90s, NASCAR did not run 43 cars everywhere. At this track, they probably would have run like 36, 32 to 36, so it's a little lower than it would have been, but green flag is out already. See, just watching for any big checkups. Car got kind of loose there, loose again. Almost over revving, coming into turn 1. Yeah, with it too wide like this, I'm not too optimistic that I can do a lot. Yeah, it's going to be really tight on the inside. Walk. Hitting Rick Mast and spinning out. Get the car going again. Yellow flag, though. And a very, very short first stint of the race. That's what I wanted to avoid. But the car is fine, and I don't even think the tires are hurt. I'm in last place, so I could pit. Yeah, I'm thankful the yellow came out because the car is way far behind now. Okay, pit road is open. The car is honestly fine, so unless everybody pits... Ooh, would everybody pit and I can just stay out? No, I'm not that lucky. It's good to see that they actually coded that, though. I mean, I think at the time this came out, 1994, pit strategy is actually a thing. All of the cars didn't just dive to pit road. So it's pretty impressive. But Rick Mast there, coming into contact. Honestly, my fault. I tried to take it 3 wide on the first lap down the back straightaway. So definitely do a little bit better. So just drive it nice and slow here at the back. It's funny, the opponent engines are almost louder than my own. Just be careful not to over rev it. So, not a lot of warning for the green flag, but I need to field single file now. Wow, green on the back straightaway. Field is already single file, so what was that about? Oh man, and lost the car. Smacked the wall, damaged wheel. That's not good. So, going from bad to worse. Oh, it's all spiraling out of control. Bad qualifying. Bad start to the race. I knew my car was quick, but now I've got a pretty damaged car. I don't know what happened coming into the turn. I just spun out, hit the wall. Rookie mistake. Yeah, maybe cold tires. But we'll see. We should be able to pit. Hopefully the crew can take a look at it. Make sure they're not going to put any more fuel or anything into it. Yeah, left front tire apparently is gone. Not that I needed it anyway, but... So we'll come into the pits here. Change our 4 tires, repair the damage. Hopefully not go a lap down. Would have been nice to maybe do another lap. I need to back up, I think. How do I back up? Oh my god, I'm going around another lap. I don't know what key I bound to backing up. I'll have to look at that. Wow. All the mistakes. Yeah, it's not just a gear, which makes it hard. Oh man, we're going green next time by too. This is just a mess of a race. Not what I wanted. I thought Richmond was going to be a great race. Alright, try to not overshoot the pits this time. Hopefully they can get 4 tires on it and I can get out without losing a lap. Oh, and they're so slow. What do they have? Squirt guns for the tires. Oh man, green flag. So we're just going to lose like 5 laps on this one. Yeah, there we go. There goes the pace car. Well, we're in it to win it. We'll have to hope that a few other cars break down or something. Oh, come on, crew. What are we waiting for? There we go, losing another lap. I don't know why. Are they repairing the car? Well, this might be a forced retirement. Over a minute on the pit road. I knew I hit the wall, but I didn't think I hit that hard. No, there's definitely no lucky dog. Pit stop's done. Well, I don't know now. Is it worth... Is it even worth lapping? I don't know. We'll see. We'll do a few laps at least. But may end up retiring the car early. Try not to spin it out and crash again. I mean, all I can hope for is that there's a couple crashes or something that takes out a few cars, but it looks like we're going from setting the quickest time in practice to wrecking out or DNFing here. Still pretty loose of a car. Oh, it's just so disappointing. Especially after that fast time in practice. I was too optimistic about it. Of course, we get going now and things are feeling okay. Car's a little loose, like it was before. Where are we going to next after this? Atlanta? It's a track with a little more space. Well, you definitely win some and lose others. This is one for the loss column. You know, I did about as good as I could do at both Daytona and Rockingham, so I guess I'm due, maybe. But if no other cars DNF or anything, I mean, I will definitely gain some places just based off of some of the cars not even being in the race. But oh, smacking the wall there a little bit. Just curious to see if I actually catch any cars and pass them. No, I mean, making a caution is not going to solve anything here. Just make the race take longer. I'm surprised it took 3 laps to replace it. I should have probably just replaced that tire. Live and learn, man. So, not a lot seems to be happening. I don't know how far behind I am on cars in front. I figured I would actually catch some cars pretty easily, but yeah, thanks for the compliment on the new channel logo. I thought it was time to swap out. I think I had that picture of Francois Sever there for 8 years or something. But yeah, I based it off, although I agree, actually I didn't even think that looks like Fernando Alonso's helmet colors, but it's supposed to be Sever. I don't know. What's the consensus? Should I park it and end the misery? Or should I finish the 22 laps here and Ironman it? Oh, smacking the wall a little bit there. Nothing worse than being many laps down and then bringing out a yellow flag. It's honestly a very quick race. I might just finish the whole thing. To say I did it, never give up. Teach me a little bit about how the car handles on a short track. Got a few more short tracks. Remember, in 1994, we got Bristol and Martinsville, of course. We also have got North Wilkesboro Speedway, the classic short track that we all miss. And just you wait till you see Darlington. What a bastardization of a circuit that is. You thought Daytona was bad. Wait till you see Darlington. It's probably the worst one in the sim, to be honest. It's nothing like the real circuit. I think I'm actually being caught by some cars too. Which is very interesting because I thought my car was quick. I guess I'm damaged now, which I didn't consider. Yeah, I've definitely got a lot of damage. One car coming up behind me, not sure who it would be. It's a white and black car. Darlington's like a roller coaster. It's so messed up. I don't know what what Papyrus was doing when they made that circuit. It's just like all over the place. I don't know if we'll get there tonight, but in the next stream, whoa, and spinning out down the back straightaway. Bringing out a yellow flag. I swear I didn't do that on purpose. And we're gonna end our misery here. Yeah, it was Dale Earnhardt behind me. But we're going to end the misery. And I just have to remember what I pressed to speed up time. I think it's A key, maybe. Accelerate time. All right. So, man, Richmond, I thought I was going to win that. And I just threw it away there at the start of the race. Way too aggressive. I got to remember the starts of the races are just such a mess. So we'll accelerate time, and I say it, I'm putting my hands in quotes, which you can't see, but time in this game is accelerating very slowly. It's quicker than real life, but it's not quite accelerating as you would think of it today. So Mark Martin leading the race. I could almost commentate on it here, shoveling for a position behind him, but leading away from Ken Schrader and Ernie Irvin. White flag and Ken Schrader. Oh, Ken Schrader passed Mark Martin, led one lap. So it's actually a really good finish. Mark Martin led 39 of the 40 laps, and Ken Schrader, one to go, passes him for the win. Not too bad. We'll see. I think I finished dead last in this. A DNF. So the first DNF of the season in race 3. I was hoping I'd get a lot further than that before the DNF. I'm expecting DNF maybe both road courses, but we'll have to see. All right, so end that. Oh, and the crew not going to be very happy at all this time. Pushing the car into the garage. The busted front end. So I had a ton of damage, actually. I didn't even think to look at the car. We'll take a quick peek. I think I'll have the replay from the start of the race, and we won't have the replay, unfortunately, from what looked like a good finish. But we'll be able to see the you don't get the replays from the accelerated time, unfortunately. But here we go. So start of the race. Swinging around the circuit. Lost a little bit of time there, and I think maybe wanted to pick it back up because I knew I had a quick car. It's coming down the back straightaway, sliding sideways and up the inside, and yeah, I just threw it in. And honestly, it was close contact, but nothing. Something I should have avoided, honestly. We'll take a look on the onboard here. Whole suite of different views. threw it on the inside. Yeah, and I actually almost made that stick, but not quite. Ended a race early. All right. So, finished 28th. I got 79 points for that still. And that's going to help a lot in the championship. Because Jimmy Spencer on back did not even start the race. And we'll click done there. So Ken Schrader won that on the last lap. So we're in 27th, which might as well be last because I only, I made the start. And the guys behind me maybe didn't. Rick Mast, still in front of him though. And we're behind our friend Steve Grissom with the bad car. We'll look towards the front, see how the championship's shaping up. So Jeff Bodine, no wins, but consistent top fives all three races so far. So he's got the lead in the championship. Consistency with this point structure definitely pays off. And we'll see that as the season goes. The drivers that do the most consistent will stay up front. Mark Martin, Dale Earnhardt, and Harry Gant falls back to 4th. Looks like he didn't even get a top 10 in that race. All right. So continue on. So we got Atlanta and then Darlington. We might get through both of them tonight, but we'll definitely do Atlanta here. So coming in to Atlanta. So this is the old Atlanta, the good Atlanta, in my opinion. And it sounds like they're going to actually go back to this version, which is so ridiculous that the whole track was reshaped and they're just going to go back to this. It looks like they're actually going to redo the track fairly soon here and just put it back to the way it was. So we'll load up our fast setup and do a few laps just to see how the car feels. Make sure everything is good. Oh, this race better go well. End on a high note. Scrubbing tires a little bit down the pit lane. This version of Atlanta is awesome. I mean, it's a regular oval, just same, somewhat the same straightaways, corners on both sides of the circuit. But I can't think of another track. I mean, I guess it's similar to Homestead, and everybody loves Homestead now. So yeah. This track is awesome. Very fast circuit. Still is fast today, but I don't know. We have Charlotte. We don't need more Charlottes. Running a little wide there. Track is obviously a lot bigger than even the last two that we've run on, so a little more space to figure stuff out here. Running fast against the bottom of the circuit. Running a little wide on exit. .67.918. Car feels good. I'm able to keep it down low on the exit of the corners. Coming up on Sterling Marlin here. Have to see if we have the speed though. 172. Yeah, I mean, I said it right at the beginning of the stream, but I think of this era of NASCAR when I think of NASCAR. Everything else is different. Newer stuff is different. The older stuff is different. But the early 90s, when I started watching racing, this is what NASCAR was. So what I think of. So losing a few positions. They need to fiddle around just a little bit, see if we can get the car any quicker. The car feels pretty good. It's a little tight again on entry. It's not loose at all on exit, which is nice for once. maybe I need to slow it down a little more on entry and then get on the throttle for exit. Slower lap there. Really sliding back the grid now. It's not what I want to see. So we may need to figure out a way to increase our top speed. I can probably change the gearing a little bit. It doesn't even look like I'm hitting 8,000. See what the spoiler is at, although we're not going to be able to flatten it out like we did at Daytona. 173 then, but down in 28th, way for down 30th. Come on, stop it. 31st. Oh man. Are we going to be right at the back? I thought the car felt good, but clearly it's not the quickest car out there. I feel like my line it's a little low on entry, but if I don't, I slide wide like this. Just check out the tires real quick. Yeah, and I'm overheating that right front, so I'm gonna have to raise the tire pressure a little bit. Actually pretty cold on the right rear, but it's because I'm working that right front so much. Alright, so let's jump into the garage. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the tires. They're all over the place. So I'm going to shorten this gear a little bit. Shorten fourth gear. Let's check out our spoiler. Oh, we're at full spoiler, too. I mean, let's go down to, I don't know. Let's try 60. Let's see. I might need to actually go back on the gearing a little bit. Let's go one taller, because I am flattening out the spoiler, and I'll go to 55. We'll see if that's too much. I mean, obviously, the car's just going to get loose if we really flatten it out. Fuel, fill it back up. We'll have to start with full fuel anyway. Right front, we'll raise our tire pressure a little bit. It wasn't overheating too bad, but I think the left front's a lost cause. We'll do something. Let's go down to 45. We'll see. We'll see what it does. All right, so I got a 173 before, so I need to try to improve that. Yeah, I'm leaving the pits. The left front is at 119 degrees. So, changing the tire pressures, that should help us get a little more grip overall and avoid overheating that right front. And then the spoiler is going to make us quicker. However, it's also going to reduce the amount of downforce we have in the corners. So the car will be more likely to jump away. It was very stable before, though, so hopefully I didn't go too far with it. We'll take it gently here into turn 3. Okay, it doesn't feel like I've killed it or anything. Might need to lower, do what we did with the front end at Daytona, and just lower that too. Rev range seems pretty good now, as long as drafting doesn't become a big part of it. Real fast down the back straightaway. So I think this concludes that restrictor plates are definitely a thing at Daytona, since we only barely hit like 190 there. Okay, picked up a couple spots. Not the dramatic change I was looking for, but my line was not perfect. So let's see if we can clean things up a bit. I'm a little high, but I'm flat out. We've got a few laps and check the tires too and make sure stuff there is looking good. bobbing all over the place through the corner. Picking it up to 30th then. Good thing about the NASCAR schedule a little bit, you know, we go to most of these circuits twice. So we will get Richmond Redemption, hopefully. This sim does not have force feedback, Robert. Unfortunately, it would be really nice because it's tough to tell what's going on with the car. Oh, I'll run them really high through 1 and 2. And that top speed up though. Entering the corners a little bit too low. Alright, so I think we're maxing out a little bit. Let's see, tire temp wise, still overheating that right front just a little bit. Right rear is nowhere. I think I can move the weight back a little bit. Right now the car feels just very much understeery into the corner, pretty neutral off. Just finish this lap here, see what we did. Yeah, 172, so lost a little speed. So come back in right front, so we'll raise that even a little bit more. I don't think it has to go super high. Right rear, we need to go less. See what that does. We'll have to evaluate that again because it may be maybe too much if we change the weight of the car. Gears felt good. Spoiler, honestly, I could do with less. We'll go 50. And then, what do we want? Suspension. Suspension, weight, jackets. Just trying to learn where the settings are. I don't know, we want more rear weight, so we'll go up to 51%. Okay, those are some pretty big changes, so we'll see what that did. Do a couple more laps. I don't want to practice forever. I want to get to the race, but need to have a shot at it. Redeem myself from Richmond. Thanks again for watching the struggle here. This old sim, it's cool to see that even 60, 70 people want to watch. What is this? A 25-year-old, 26-year-old sim on a Friday night. Not a lot going on right now, so I guess that's why. So I appreciate everybody watching it so far. Watching the Ballad of Axel Bubbles Richardson Jr. Okay, car definitely feels a lot different. Maybe not in a good way. Turn in is a lot better. Holding 160 over there for a second. Let out of it, started to push. A little more alive on the exit, but nothing too bad there. Yeah, I think there's a clear divide when Papyrus split from this physics model to the one that iRacing is built off of today. And that split happened between NASCAR 3 and NASCAR 4. GPL was actually the first sim that used the modern iteration, I guess, the very first iteration of what iRacing uses now. NASCAR 2003 used the same thing. NASCAR 4 would have been the first one on it. So it definitely NASCAR 3 is a pinnacle of a certain type of sim. So not so much quicker, but I don't think I'm doing perfect laps yet. But not that clear boost I was looking for. Where are we at overall? 31st. We're not at the very back, but I'd love to have a race where I'm not having to race the whole field. This Kyle Petty's going to block us a little bit into 3, maybe. Out of 4. So where we are now. I thought that was going to be a good lap, but it wasn't. So these changes have not made me quicker, really. Be quicker in different parts of the circuit. Yeah, I think Grand Prix Legends was a commercial flop. Everybody looks back on it fondly, but it's a pretty... The folks in this room right now, we're a fickle bunch. Yeah, I'm pushing on exit a little bit now, and I think that might be due to the decreased splitter, or spoiler angle. Maybe. I might try to raise the spoiler back up just a little bit. I feel like my top speed is actually pretty good. I'm sticking with the car, maybe even gaining a little bit down the straightaway, but it's the downforce in the corners that's not so good. Alright, so we're going to go one more round of changes. Oh, I didn't look at my tires. I think it tells me in here. So front was good. Right rear, I'm going to lower that even more. Left front, 120 degrees. It went 1 degree up. At least I went up this time. Let's see how low can we go? Oh, stagger. I didn't even think. Let's raise our stagger a little bit. We'll see what that does. I'm going to raise my spoiler back up 5, and then I'm going to actually lower the front. All right, we're as low as we can go there, so... Alright, try one more round of practice just to see what we can do, and then we're going to throw it into the race. We'll have to see. I don't know how many laps this race is, but I think it would have been a 400 or might have been a 500 miler. This one might be the 400. There might be 2 different distances. I don't know if NASCAR 1 actually supports like 2 different distances, so we'll have to see. Alright, so car gripping incredibly better. Tires still got to come up to temp a little bit. Coming out of turn 4 then, I think this lap will be slow, just getting the car warmed up. To make this thing work. It feels more stable than it did on the last run. It's probably the spoiler in the back helped me out there. There's Rick Mass behind me, probably a little upset about Richmond. Ah, there we go, 175 flat. Up to 27th. Let's see, do this one more lap. So the car's better. It's not perfect. I'm sure there is a faster setup out there somewhere, but we'll see what we can do. So I am going to keep this setup for qualifying. However, I'm going to lower the fuel, since apparently we can do that. It's not something that you were able to do in like NASCAR 2003, so I didn't even think of it. Alright, so 75 flats now is what we can do with a full fuel tank. So we'll come into qualifying, come into the garage, and lower all the way down to what, 5 gallons? I've never been this excited for 27th position, but we'll see what we can do. So I think we're not going to be last as long as I don't stack it on this lap here. So we got some 173s in the back. It looks like we may end up about 27th qualifying. We got for pole right now. Gant. Wow, Harry Gant's real quick this season. Whoever made this car said loved Harry Gant. He's at 180. Was 94 the year that Harry Gant won 3 races in a row? Or was that, I think it was like 92 actually. So I think I only get 1 shot at this. I think it's maybe just Daytona, the super speedways, that I get 2 laps for some god-awful reason. Car feels alive, low fuel, so it should be about as quick as I'm going to be able to go. Driving into turn 1, try to get the line good, but pushed a little wide, get the throttle down, cut the exit lower. Not to slide the car or anything. Get our speed up as high as it can go down the back straightaway. Gonna top out near 188 miles an hour maybe. Through turns 3 and 4. Made an okay corner there. Now towards the line, what do we got? 175.9. Okay, P25. It's almost a 176. So P25 to start at Atlanta, 32 laps. 32 laps at Atlanta, so that won't be too long of a race. The beautiful 1.5 mile. I just need to remember to put fuel in it. So easy to do in this. Just forget to refuel the car. So we've got our golden setup. I mean, I think it's going to be okay for it. So 32 laps around Atlanta, starting 25th. I think we're looking for another top 20 here. Certainly looking to finish the race. That would be A plus for this. And we'll take a look on this outlap or pace lap here at who got the pole. Harry Gant, that's right. Jeff Gordon, Dale Earnhardt, and Jeff Bodine. Ernie Irvan round out your top 5 for this Atlanta race. So, not quite sure who we're racing in the championship just yet, but after these first few races, we'll have a pretty good sense of where we are with things. I don't know if the title of this live stream is going to end up being accurate. Will Axel Richardson Jr. be able to go for the Cup? I'm not sure. But we're going to try our best to do well in Atlanta. It's only the 4th race of the season. 1 DNF so far. So here we come to start the Atlanta race. 32 laps. Green flag is out. As soon as the pace car pulls off, won't be able to do too much here. Just worried the AI is going to check up on me, but so far they've been pretty good about it. Shifted up to 4th a little too soon. Lost maybe a position there. Oh, and a crash in front. I'm on the apron, but it's a car spinning out above. Cars sliding all around me. Oh my god. Very frightening. Wow, and probably good that I went down to the apron. Half the field behind me taken out there on the opening lap. So we'll come around to get the yellow flag. Chaos on the start of the Atlanta race. Whew. A little crazier than I was hoping for. Yellow flag is out then. So, 29th. We lost a few positions in that, but honestly, I'm happy to have made it through. Not sure what happened there. Take a quick look at the replay just to see who hit whom, since we're invested in this at this point. Oh, and do I have a little nose damage somehow? Oh, I might want to go repair that. It's good I'm looking at this. I don't know. Should I go repair? I guess I hit somebody. But we'll see. Let's see if I can switch cars here. I think it was it our buddy Stevie. Passed him there. Wow, Dale Jarrett really rocketing up the inside. Oh no, crash in front. So that was the 41. I don't remember who this is. Joni Machek. So he spins out going into turn 1. Oh, maybe gets spun by that 22 car there. Spins down, hits 75, and parts and pieces everywhere. So I do got some front end damage. And I think I'm going to want to go pit for that. This is a fast track. I need everything. In 29th, but it's like the first lap of the race, so it's tough decisions. I'm in a pit. So we shouldn't lose a lap here, I hope. Although it took like a minute that pit stop at Richmond. But I think it's important I get the damage as fixed as it can be because I need all my downforce to go fast here. I didn't have a super quick car to begin with. Should not take as long as time. I mean, the damage is not nearly as catastrophic as it was at Richmond. I have no idea where the pace car is, but really want these guys to finish the pit stop as soon as possible. Come on, there we go. All right, staying on the lead lap. Thank God. So we got 30 laps to go. We are pretty much in last place. It looks like Derek Cope behind us. Future Starcom racing car. Ooh, cold tires there. Don't want to loop it around, just under caution. Try to put new tires on as well. So got like fresh everything. Hopefully the car is not too damaged. Where is the field? Coasting around here in like 4th gear. There we go. So easy to rocket upon them and not be able to slow down. So be almost like the start of the race. We're just a few laps in. We've got a couple more cars to pass than last time. I think I got at least one more lap under yellow. And hopefully we get to some racing. Looks like Todd Bodine is out of the race. Derek Cope's behind us, but a lap down. So we are last car on the lead lap. Maybe a big cleanup from this one because we're not even one lap to go yet. The joys of pacing. I don't know, I was struggling over whether or not we should enable yellows, and I think so far it's been okay. It almost helped me at Richmond. So hopefully none of these circuits have too many yellows. The road courses will be interesting. Yellows there doesn't make sense, but there's no way to shut it off just for one track. Hopefully we get the one to go this time by. Try not to run into Mr. Allen in front of us here. 1 lap to green. So we'll go green next time. And hopefully the whole pack gets through the lap. We can do some racing. So 27 laps to go. Tires are going to be really cold. Right front is down to pretty much nothing. 111. See if I can put a little heat. I don't want to spin the car out. Be really easy to do that. So waited for the green flag then. Just trying to take it easy on the start. Hopefully not get caught up into anything like last time. Green flag is out. Full throttle. Up in a 3rd gear. Coming to the line then. Down into 1st corner. Under Loy Allen, but don't know how much grip I'll have. I don't really know how damaged the car is. It's feeling okay, but a little slow. Making it through the 1st and 2nd turn this time. Pushing a little bit coming out of turn 4, but the whole field's stacking up a bit. See if we can sneak it around the outside. Allen's going to block us. If I wasn't in 36th position, I'd be having fun with this, but I really want to try to pass a couple of these guys at least. I got Derek Cope coming up behind me. He's a lap down. Okay, coming out of the front straightaway. Got a good run this time on Allen. Sweeping down a little too low, but able to make it work. Now sat behind Ricky Rudd in the 10 Tide car. Rudd running a little wide. Maybe sneak below him here. Coming out of turn 4. I got the 15 car out wide too. Making up a few positions then. 23 laps to go. Greg Sachs in front of us. Make my way. So passing some cars pretty, dare I say, easily. Just being a little tentative. Don't want to do anything too wild. Basically just need to anticipate any of the AI moves. Sometimes they move a little erratically, but everyone's playing safe right now. Coming to turn 3. Actually able to get out to the wall that time. Whoa, slow cars ahead. Zach's gonna slip up the inside, but I saw the field stacking up. Quite a few cars ahead, so I had to get out of it. See if I can sweep it down low. Trying to not lose a bunch of positions, but I got Ricky Rudd below me in the 10. Cars trying to overtake from every angle. Losing what I've gained so far. I don't know if you would have been able to see the field stacking up there, but I think it was Darrell Waltrip coming out of turn 4 had a moment or something, but I was worried there was going to be a crash. All right, able to get it back under Sachs. Car was pushing quite a bit there. Kyle Petty taking up way too much space. This is, of course, the track where the season finale will take place, the historic season finale for NASCAR. So I do want to do well here. You never know what position I'll be in come season end. Drafting down the back straightaway at Atlanta. Sliding a little high this time, but the car is slowing down in front. Can I make the high line work? Kyle Petty trying to block me or something. Right against the wall. Sweep it under Rick Mass. Yeah, that's what I need to be doing, making up a few positions. Rick Mass coming back on me. Same with Kyle Petty. Not today, Hut. Keep you behind me. This is what NASCAR is all about. Even in an old sim like this. Oh, lost a few positions there. Basically everything I thought I gained on the front straightaway was gone, but it was pretty fun. Alright, single file again. Making our way back up on Hut Strickland, then he got a slow run out of fourth turn. I'm running way too hot into turn one, right against the wall, taking that Atlanta high line. That's not going to work here. No grip up there. Feels like our lot in this race may be back here. Getting past me again. You know, it is competitive, but it's for 34th position, not for the top 10 or something. I need to get on that low side. That high line's not working. Pushing quite a bit. I wonder if I'm still overheating that right front a bit. Sometimes with these older sims, it's just not possible to not overheat it, it seems. Depends on the track. I guess I could really change the setup, maybe make the rear take more of the load, but this one's pushing quite a bit. Pack in front of me. Hopefully they'll mix it up a bit. The AI do, when they race, they do slow each other down quite a bit, which is good to see. That's how it really would be. Pace, keeping Loy Allen behind, but not moving up anymore. So I'm fighting a very tight car. Not very, but tight, a little too tight. Right there is where it starts getting tight, and I've got to let off the throttle a bit on the exit. Loy Allen getting up the inside. Now, the lapped car, so I'm last car in the lead lap. if we do happen to get a yellow flag, I mean, I'm in last, so I could put on new tires, I could change a couple settings in the pits, but I'm not sure we will be so fortunate. So just 9 laps to go here at Atlanta. And although we're still in it, and I guess I do have some damage, but not sure what that's causing on the car. It's too bad that lap 1 incident, last 2 races, lap 1 incidents have plagued us. Grabbing a little bit of that apron to help turn the car. Losing the pack in front though. We'll maybe need to go search through the internet history for some setup tips for NASCAR 1. Coming out of turn 4, so we got here just 6 laps to go. It's going to be 2 back of the pack finishes in a row, which this race hurts more, I guess, than the Richmond race, even though I DNF'd there. Since it was a much smaller field, I was still able to get 70-something points, whereas here, pretty much a full field, finishing nearly last. Able to keep Derek Cope behind us, but I can't help but feel like I'm blocking him a bit. Whoa! Is that a yellow flag? Aha! Alright, 4 laps though. I don't think that's going to be enough because we got the caution, but the leaders didn't, so... Oh, and Derek Cope sliding around me. I thought we got the caution flag. So we can give him a little bump there. Not able to get to his bumper all the way. Looks like Sachs might have had an issue, though. Road closed. There's the actual caution. So 3 laps to go. It's not going to be enough to get the race going, I don't think. So this one's going to end under yellow with a really disappointing, or I guess that was Lake Speed that was pitting, but really disappointing result. Definitely going to do a little more practice on the next one to make sure it's a decent car, because this was not a pretty race. So we'll come to the line. I think we'll get 2 to go. I would pit under a normal yellow, but for this, it's not going to be worth it. So 2 laps to go. Not going to get back green because we'll get the white flag next time by. So Daytona was honestly, I drove it fine, just the car had no speed. finished in the 30s somewhere. North Carolina, best race so far. Passed a bunch of cars, made an awesome final restart. Started way back though, so only was able to get up to 18th there. Richmond, we know what happened to Richmond. Basically taking myself out of what could have been a very good finish right on the first few laps. And here at Atlanta, I just never really had a shot, I don't think. First lap, not my issue at all. Cars crashing ahead. Made a little bit of contact, but I'm going to blame the poor result on that. My car definitely had a little more speed than it has here. So good racing for a few laps, though. We'll come over here, get the white flag. One more lap to go. Of course, the next race is Darlington. Like I was saying before, that track is something else in this sim. It's totally a roller coaster. So we'll round turns 3 and 4. Round turns 3 and 4 and a pretty disappointing Atlanta race. There we go. 35th place finish at Atlanta. Tough luck. And hitting exit and everything screeching to a halt. What's going on? There we go. Whew, scared me for a moment. Alright, so we'll exit now. 58 points. So, pretty bad. Take a look at the point standings. Oh, and I didn't look at who won, but we'll see. We'll see based on the results. Harry Gant pulls out another win in his amazing season late in his career. Jeff Bodine second still. Mark Martin. So the championship starting to shape up a bit, but really it's wide open. We're only 4 races in. And coming way down, Axel Richardson Jr., a.k.a. Bubbles, 304 points. Not very good. 28th position. Keep in mind, a lot of these guys missed a race. And I wish I had a column for like number of races, but a lot of these all missed a race. So, I think that's where I'm going to call it for tonight. I've been streaming for a little over 3 hours. And I know Darlington is going to be an interesting one, but maybe that'll be a good one to start off with on the next stream. Interesting series of tracks, though. If you look at the schedule, and this is how it actually was in '94. Darlington, so another fast track. But then we got Bristol, North Wilkesboro, and Martinsville all in a row. Basically the 3 short tracks, and then we top that off with Talladega coming after it. So a pretty awesome schedule of races for the next few in the season. So I appreciate everyone watching tonight. First time doing this sim specifically, and never done a stream this late. So I appreciate it. Appreciate all the folks watching, and I think I had over 50 people watching the whole time, which is awesome. So I'll do more stuff like this in the future. I actually got a couple other videos planned. Hopefully one for this weekend that I think folks have been waiting a very long time for. So appreciate, again, everybody coming out, and I will talk to everybody again next time. Thanks.